I feel like shit.
Monday, happy days. Tuesday, Wednesday, happy days.
It's just one of
Friday,
those
happy days. The weekend comes, must not go on.
It's just one of those days where you don't wanna wake up. Everything is everybody sucks. You don't really know why, but you wanna justify ripping someone's head off. No human contact, and if you interact, your life is on contract. Your best bet,
Just knock it off, you scum bucket.
it's just one of those days. It's just one of
Monday,
those.
happy days.
It's just one of
Tuesday,
those.
happy days.
It's just one of those
Happy days.
days.
The weekend comes, must not go on. Ready to make space.
It's just one of those days, feeling like a freight train. First one to complain, leaves with the bloodstain. Damn right, I'm a maniac. You better shoot, cause I'm fucking up your program. And if you're stuck up, you just locked up. Next in line to get fucked up. Your best bet is to stay away, motherfucker. It's just,
I'm losing my cool.
it's all about
Monday, happy days.
It's just one of
Tuesday,
those,
happy days.
it's just one of those
Happy days.
days.
The weekend comes, must not go on. Ready to make space.
Feel like shit. My suggestion is to keep your distance. 'Cause right now I'm dangerous. Right now I'm dangerous.
Something's happening to the bonds.
My day keeps going this way and this way.
I'm gonna pop you one so you'll stop playing games.
Give me something great. Give me something great. I hope you know I pack a chainsaw. A chainsaw. A motherfucking chainsaw.
What?
So come and get it.
What we got here is a case of mistaken identity, you know? See, now this here,
Not Robert.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chief Moody, and welcome to episode 234 of the Mood of the Nation podcast. I don't know if you can all hear that just now, but it's starting to really pouring it down with the rain over here where I live. So apologies in advance in terms of like the noise in the background and all of that. But yeah, we're here. So I know in the past I'd say that I was going to do an episode and then it gets cancelled or delayed for a later date. But here we are. I say it was going to be live on this particular day, and we're here. It's live on this particular day. I actually didn't think it would be live at 5:30, considering the bus kind of broke down. I was taking the bus back from work back so I can get back home. Of course, the bus broke down, and I thought, "Damn, I'm going to be late for the stream." But thankfully, I got home on time, and yeah, we're here. So let me have a quick look and see who's in the chat. Also, can anyone hear me fine and clear? Because often before the show starts, I just want to make sure that the microphone is connected up and you can all hear me fine and dandy. There's no any issues or anything like that at all. So if you can all let me know in the chat, that would be fantastic, just so that, of course, to let me know. So we have Joe Marsh in the chat. How you doing? Sandra's spicy Spanish salami sandwich. How you doing? Thank you very much. Chaz Smash, as always. Jacob7 as well. Hey, Chief, it's been a while. It's been a while as well, Jacob. Thank you very much for joining the show. Well, watching the show, of course. So it's all coming in clear. Right. Perfect. So I think it's the same settings I used when I went on the PA Film Club review. I think that was not last week, maybe the week before. It was the one where myself, Mark Collett, Navis Concern, and St. Harrison were reviewing the film 28 years later. And it was a lot of fun, and hopefully I'll be appearing on a future stream. Hopefully it will be about the film The Warriors, because The Warriors is my favorite film of all time. So if they're doing The Warriors and if they like me on as a guest or whatever, I'd be very happy to do that. Of course, if they get someone else, then that's totally fine as well. But just thought I would put that out there in that case. So we're going to talk about the horrific. Lester, you doing? Thank you very much for watching. So yeah, we're going to be talking about the recent assassination of Charlie Kirk. I know on the last episode I did, which actually looking back through my, what's it called? YouTube Studios. So that's of course the YouTube creator page and whatnot. The last episode, which was 233, went live I think 20, 21 days ago. So that's about what, almost 3 weeks or something like that. And the reason why it was delayed and all of that for this episode was because I was just busy again with work and of course RO stuff and all of that. But I have enough time, and of course here we are now. So I'm here. I think I'm gonna be back to work this weekend, but I'm not too sure what day exactly. I need to double check on that. But we're here anyway with when it comes to that. So, and of course, I said on my last episode, I was going to talk about Scottish independence. More specifically, a lot of accounts on X are trying to use Scottish independence as, of course, a way of trying to get people back into the European Union and all of that. And that was my plan from the very beginning. Even if it was going to take a while to do the episode, I was going to do that specifically as a topic. Toffee, how you doing? Thank you very much for watching the show. Thank you very much for watching. But unfortunately, it's not just the assassination of Charlie Kirk. There's been a lot of things that have happened this past week already. It seems that the escalation is just ramping up every single time. There was the horrific murder of Irina Zadowska, I think you pronounce her name. If I mispronounce it, I apologize. But she's a Ukrainian refugee who fled Ukraine because of course, that whole thing happened with Russia. And she came to the West. I think this was in America, if I'm not mistaken. She came to America again for a better life and all of that, or maybe she was staying there temporarily and then she was going to go back to Ukraine. Who knows? But unfortunately, multiculturalism has killed her. She was killed by a black man, of course, which was really horrific. And again, I was even maybe planning on talking about that as well. But of course, the major news that I did not see coming, I was shocked when I heard about this, was of course the assassination of Charlie Kirk, which at this point in time, that happened on Wednesday, the 10th of September, I believe. It's only been like the past 2 days, and it still feels surreal to me. Because again, I remember watching, I would watch occasionally Charlie Kirk from time to time, and I know of him, of course, from Turning Point USA and all of that. And of course, there's the British branch, which of course have blocked me on X or Twitter because I basically called them a bunch of cucks. But of course, that was back when I had my previous account. I got a brand new one on X. Follow me there if you can, at Chief Moody at YT or underscore YT, I think, or not, Chief Moody YT, I think it is. But saying that, it was really shocking to see what had happened on Wednesday, which of course we'll get into in a moment or two. Toffee L10, again, the lefties are getting demolished on Facebook. Normies have finally had enough of these goals. Well, I'm glad you brought that up because we'll definitely cover that. There's going to be a lot of things to cover regarding to the whole Charlie Kirk thing. And I would talk about the Irina I'm going to see if I can actually get her name up because, again, there's a chance I might be butchering her name. Let me see if I can actually just double check that. I know it's Irina, and I think her last name is... One sec. Just bear with me. Zarutska. Zarutska. So Zarutska. So yeah, I'll talk about that. And somewhat at the same time as the Charlie Kirk thing, because I do believe that does tie together because of the whole what's been going on as of late. So where to start with the Charlie Kirk thing that hasn't really already been said, because a lot of people were talking about this. Hell, there, even at my work, not just today, but even yesterday, people were actually talking about that. People were just like, may not know Charlie Kirk's name, but they've heard about what happened and just the horrific nature of it all. It seems like that whole thing has awakened people a lot with what happened to Charlie Kirk, because Charlie Kirk has done similar events like these in the past, but for this to happen, it's just unspeakable when it comes to that. So let me see. Yeah, right. So where to start when it comes to the whole thing? Because, like I said, what hasn't already been said at this point? Because I mean, a lot of people talked about it. Tim Pool has talked about it. Steven Crowder has talked about it. Dave Rubin has talked about it, and they've nicked a kid for Kirk's murder. Yeah, we'll definitely cover that soon, Joe. Thank you for bringing that up, because even when I got off the bus, I did see a notifications for both the Tim Pool stream and Stephen Crowder stream that yes, the shooter has actually been caught. We'll definitely cover that soon for the show. So I'll start off with the beginnings of like Charlie Kirk and with that. So as you all know, I've been watching YouTube content for a long time. I didn't start to making videos up until maybe 2018 or 2019, I think it was. But prior to making actual videos, I used to watch a lot of content. Of course, Sargon of Akkad, Count Dankula. I still watch Dankula from time to time. Maybe Tim Pool and all of that. The Quartering I would watch from time to time, but there was a particular person who was, again, part of that sphere of conservatism, whatever you want to call it, was, of course, Charlie Kirk. And just like with Donald Trump, he got into relevance roundabout in 2016 and, of course, started Turning Point USA. And he's been around for a long time. I also just want to make this really clear as well, because the good thing I have seen is that there's a lot of people from our side, the ethno-national side of things, that have sent their condolences to the family of Charlie Kirk, because even though we don't agree with Charlie Kirk and his pro-Zionist, pro-Israel stances and whatnot, he doesn't deserve that. He did not deserve that in any way, shape, or form. And it was still really horrific, because well, before I get into the actual video itself, which of course I'm not going to show, because obviously for obvious reasons, it's just really brutal to watch. So with Charlie Kirk, he was one of the people that would have an open discussion with these anti-whites. I know people will call them leftists, but at this point in time, it's best just to call them anti-white, because that's essentially what they really are at this point in time. And, you know, he would just completely trounced them in debates, just like with other people in that sphere and all of that. Hold on one sec. From Jacob, Chief, they targeted a good man, moderate, faithful follower of Christ, the last man on the right over here, willing to have a dialogue with leftists, a man who still tried to live up to the mainstream method of participating in politics. Yeah, and they killed him for that. Yeah, they really did kill him for that. And this really did. Well, sorry, just I'm kind of jumping a bit here, but I'll omit this part here when it comes to this particular story. My stance kind of changed with Charlie Kirk and the whole TP USA thing, with what happened to Nick Fuentes and, of course, America First, because I watched Mr. Metacris stream that was covering this at the time. This was probably back in, I believe it was 2019. No, it was around about 2017, 2018, maybe 2019, when Nick Fuentes and America First were becoming a lot more popular. And they were also talking a lot of ethno-nationalist points at that time as well. There was a lot of, not conferences, but a lot of, what do you call them, like venues type of thing, where kind of like a Q&A at a university and whatnot. And of course, a lot of the America First members or groypers would be there and ask the uncomfortable questions like the USS Liberty and all of that. And yes, there have been like memes surrounding Charlie Kirk about, you know, you ask him any question and his answer is, you know, I love Israel, you know, that sort of thing. So that I would say was part of the transition for me from a SIFNAP to an EthoNAP, because I believe at that point what happened to Nick Fuentes was complete bullshit. You know, people like Charlie Kirk and all of that praise the idea of free speech and free speech absolutism and all of that, but the moment when you start to ask them those types of questions like the USS Liberty and all of that, who's really behind these industries in America, like the banking system and all of that, all of a sudden the free speech absolutist method gets thrown right out of the window, surprisingly. And yeah, I did start to notice that with that case. So that was that. And then there was other things as well at the time. You know, he was still participating in debates, and like Jacob said in the chat, he was willing to engage and have open discussions with these anti-whites. I know people like Charlie Kirk and all that would call them leftists, but they really are anti-white. And it was great. I think it came to the point where he was just completely just trouncing these anti-whites with these debates, and he would just keep winning these debates over and over and over again. So now we get into what happened on Wednesday. So I found out what happened to Charlie Kirk on Wednesday night. I think this was maybe around between 8 to 10 o'clock at night. I can't remember what time exactly, but I remember there were some people on Telegram that were mentioning, "Oh, have you heard about what happened to Charlie Kirk?" And I was like, "Wait, what? What happened?" It's like, "Well, he got shot." What? Like, I was like, "Nah, bullshit. It must be someone who's like a massive like hater on Charlie Kirk, and decided to make some kind of like horrific artwork or whatever." Like, because during these types of questions and answers with Charlie Kirk, you always get people in front of the microphone and trying to be either completely disingenuous or just be outright hostile towards Charlie Kirk and all of that. But that's to happen when you try to reason with the unreasonable at this point. But unfortunately, I checked it out for myself. There were two videos, and the one I unfortunately witnessed was the one where it's like is up at the front where you can see Charlie Kirk. Because there's the other one where it's like way up at the back of like of the crowd, but the one I unfortunately saw was the one at the front, and where of course you see that he got shot in the neck. You can see the blood pouring out of him, and I was just like, "Oh fuck, that's real," and it doesn't look good. At the time, a lot of people, and of course myself included. Again, I don't agree with a lot of Charlie Kirk's stances on things like being pro-Israel and all of that. At the same time, he didn't deserve that, and I was hoping, and a lot of people shared the same sentiment. We were hoping that he would be okay. He would actually come out on top of this. Sadly, however, as we found out later on that night, and I'm sure in America it was either that morning or maybe that afternoon, the news came out that Charlie Kirk has died or has succumbed to the gunshot wound, which was again, I've said this already, but it seems so surreal to me when I found out about that, because it's like it's that whole thing where I've watched someone at least watch their content for a long time, and either maybe have interacted with them here and there, or whatever the case may be, and to find out that this actually happened to them, you just really can't. What can you really say to that? It's unthinkable. It's unthinkable. You honestly think that this would never have happened, but unfortunately, that would be the case. That indeed he was assassinated. And a lot of people after that, rightfully so, were angry about this and believe that the idea of having a conversation with these people is over. The time of having a discourse and having debates with these people is now over. People on our side have said this, like, it's been like that for a long while. You can't debate with these people. They're unhinged. They have strong stances on things. And yeah, that's it. It pretty much killed civil discourse at that point. No, he was targeted because to the ghouls, he was no different to any of us further right than him. Yeah, I agree. R.I.P. Charlie Kirk. I was wrong. Catholic, apparently. Yeah, so it's really sad, and you can even see the reactions from like Tim Pool and all of that. They were genuinely shaken by what happened to Charlie Kirk. And yeah, I mean, here's the thing, right? What happened to Charlie Kirk, I would not want to imagine what they would do to people like us ethno-nationalists. I would hate to imagine what they would do to us. I think if you thought what happened to Charlie Kirk was bad, I would imagine what they did to him, what they would do to us would be way, way worse. Because I do believe at this point in time, and a lot of people have said this is not an original point, but it's very true to say that these anti-whites, leftists, whatever you want to call them, they're not looking for a discourse. They're not looking for debate. They see themselves as on the right side of history, to the point where they basically want us dead. They want us to die, and even going as far as actually committing the atrocities towards our people. It's now come to that, folks. It really has come to that. And what I do find, again, I know this might not be entirely original to say and whatnot, but I always find it really hilarious from these people. And I'll get to the reactions from that side in a moment, but they always tell us and lecture us that the right wing, the far right, or whatever, or all of conservatism, again, whatever you want to call it, are the violent ones. Like we're the terrorists and all of that. We should be prescribed as terrorists for that. Well, here we've seen this time again, and even what happened recently with Charlie Kirk. They're the ones that instigate with the violence. They're the ones that can't have a debate because they know for a fact that they're losing the public discourse. They know for a fact that people are getting sick to the back teeth of what's going on when it comes to migration, when it comes to demographics, when it comes to economy, when it comes to the climate of the whole country as a whole. People are just sick to the back fucking teeth of it. And they know this. They know this, that people are had enough of the bullshit, and they really they can't contain it anymore. So now it's come to the point where they just want basically just to outright kill you for having a completely different opinion than them. And yes, when it comes to the reactions from that side of the fence, from the anti-whites or the leftists, again, I know people are gonna say to me on the show, like, well, I mean, are you that surprised? Honestly, I'm not surprised. At the same time, I've never seen a bunch of people, again, the same people that will lecture you, that will lecture me, that will lecture people on our side, that they're the good people, they're the righteous ones, they're the moral ones, and we're the problems of society. Yet, what I have seen on X, on Facebook, on other social media platforms, all these people gleefully celebrating the death of Charlie Kirk. Not only is it absolutely embarrassing, but to me, it's absolutely fucking disgusting. You can disagree with a person, but that doesn't give you the right to take that person's fucking life. Because now look what happened. Charlie Kirk is now dead. Now he's no longer with us. His wife is a widow. His 2 children are now fatherless, and they're going to grow up without a father. And I believe Charlie Kirk's family are a very young family, so they're not really going to remember that much about Charlie, except for what they'll witness through videos, posts, all of that, or even from other accounts from other people that knew Charlie Kirk. And that's just the tragic part of it all. I do have my sympathies for his family. And to all the people that will come out and just, you know what? I think I might actually want to see if I can find any on X, because I knew for a fact that I was going to talk about this. I knew for a fact that I was going to talk about this, and it would be great. It would be a good idea to actually showcase some of these tweets, because some of them, body, I just couldn't believe it. I don't think this brainwash. I'm just reading the comments from James Hayworth. I don't think this brainwash group of idiots can tell the difference between our law and milquetoast. Budgie Burger, bullshit container blues. Toffee L10 writes, quite a lot of nationalists have shown themselves up over this on Telegram, unfortunately. Yeah, and again, I can understand. I can somewhat understand where they're coming from with that, because again, Kirk is pro-Zionist, he's pro-Israel and all of that. That shouldn't be a justification for what happened to Charlie Kirk, because you know what happened to Charlie Kirk is exactly what's going to happen to us. Because I mean, if you think that's the only time with this shit happening, no, that's a taste for things to come, in my opinion, at least. I hope it doesn't come to that, but the way things are going, I wouldn't be surprised that it's going to get worse from here. And there's already people that are calling for the assassination of people like Matt Walsh and the like. Again, you may have your opinions on people like Matt Walsh, but it doesn't justify murder towards another fucking person who has a completely different opinion than you do. Sorry, it's the sun. Sorry. Well, one sec. This is not the fringe. What was exposed was the true colors of the average Democrat / leftist / anti-white. Yeah, exactly, Jacob. Heading out now. Sorry, Chief, just can't bear to see more of the ghouls gloating. No, I completely understand, and thank you very much for watching the show. Hopefully, I'll see you again in the chat really soon. Martin W., how you doing? Thank you very much for watching Mood of the Nation. You can't debate with the far left. Yeah, I think a lot of people are starting to think that, you know, actually, maybe it's about maybe the time of having a discourse and having a debate with these people is dead. The day Charlie Kirk died was also the day that debate and discourse also died, because clearly they're not interested in having a debate or a civil discourse. Even if they were to have a debate or discourse, it would be completely in bad faith, and they think that they're on the right side, and they're not interested in having that anymore. It's now come to the point where they're willing to absolutely fucking kill you because of your different political beliefs. So let me see if I can actually get X up, and then see if I could find x.com. Wait a minute. Maybe I could find it. Oh crap! Wait a minute. If it's not that, maybe I can show it on my phone. That might make things easier, because I was going to share the screen, but nah, I don't think it's going to happen with this. One sec. Sandra, spicy Spanish salami sandwich writes, just to be clear, I wasn't gloating and didn't think anyone here was. No, of course not. No, absolutely not. There was a lot of people on the other side who were, of course, they themselves were gloating about the whole thing. Let me see if I can get up X and see if I can find some of these posts. I think I did bookmark them. Oh, and by the way, folks, I've sorry, just real quick, I've managed to garner 300 followers. That's excellent. Hold on a sec. I'll just get my profile up here. As you can all see, yeah, there's my X account, Chief Moody at Chief underscore, yeah, Chief underscore Moody YT, and I've got 300 followers, which I know it's not a lot, but I mean that's kind of something for me with that. But thank you very much for following me on X. If you have an X account, that is. Right, bookmarks. So let me see if I can actually find these real quick. This video is about Alex Jones. I'll get to that in a moment or two. Excuse me. Right. Right. Maybe I've only have not screen shared, sorry. Maybe I've bookmarked a couple of them. Right. Let me see if I can actually get this up here, because there was actually a reason why I did bookmark one of them. One of them has Hassan Piker, who you all know is the biggest LARPer on the internet. Let me see if I can actually get this up. Damn it. I hope I don't need to log in again with the comes to. I don't know why it hasn't really saved it, but sorry, just bear with me just 1 second. I'll see if I can get this up here just now. I need to log in, of course. God damn it. Hold on a minute. Right. Okay. So, hold on 1 sec. 1 second, folks. Let me see. Exile Viking, how you doing? Thank you very much for watching the stream. Budget Burger, never mind debate. I can't even be in their company. I know that I'm like that as well. I can't stand these people. Joe Marsh, my followers on Twitter are growing a lot. I started paying it, never did before. It's still not very big though. That should say since I started paying. 11 a month. Yeah, I did the same thing as well. Damn it, what was the email I used to log into my X account? Sorry, folks, 1 second. It is important I put this up here. It's very pertinent. Damn it, what was the email address I used? Was it maybe fuck, every single time. I think it was actually this one. Yeah. Right. Okay. We'll try that. I'm not sharing the screen. No, I'm not. Right. That's fine. Cool. Yes, that should be all right. Let's see if I can actually try this. Sorry. 1 sec. Crap. Password. What would I set my password to be? Shit. I didn't think about I would need to actually log in, considering that I've used it before, but fuck. Oh, fucking hell! Again, this is every single time. The most irritating thing about this from top to Toffee, the most irritating thing about the left is most of them are built like coat hangers. They advocate violence, but wouldn't be able to handle violence if it came to them. I know, I know. If you are paying, they don't let anyone see what you post. I reckon. Yeah, I would imagine so. I would imagine so that you would get a bigger reach if you were to pay a membership for X. But yeah, so oh, this is unfortunate when it comes to my X account. I'm trying to log in. I don't know why it hasn't, because I should be able to. Damn it. Sorry, 1 sec. Right, I think we're maybe getting somewhere, but let me see if I can check that out. Let me see, check my emails. Right. Hopefully this might do it. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. Right, so we're in. Sorry about that, folks. I didn't think about I would need to. Oh, 1 sec. Why is it coming up with my old account? Hold on. That's not right. Yeah, this is coming up with my old account. What the hell was that about? Yeah, log out. Don't know why it's doing. Damn it. Sorry, folks. I thought it was gonna log me into my actual current account. Why is it not allowing me to do that? I don't know. That's really strange. Well, the fact is, I do have some posts that do showcase the just the sheer arrogance of these types of people. So I'm trying to figure out what to do here when it comes to that. Could it maybe sorry, I really want to make sure that, because that's really strange. Should be able to. All right, fine. We'll do this instead. We're gonna see if we can actually have a look at some of these real quick. Right, maybe that. Fuck. Tomorrow's going to be interesting. Oh well, there actually is something I wanted to add when it comes to the whole Charlie Kirk thing. So I mentioned at the stream, and of course, people have already mentioned it in the chat that the shooter has been caught, and the person in question is. I'm going to see if I can get the name up here. Again, from my sources. Let me see. It is what's the name? Tyler Robinson, I believe the name of the killer. Oh, tomorrow's protest. Oh, when it comes to Tommy Robinson, yeah. So that's meant to be happening tomorrow, I believe, in London, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah, I do agree. It's gonna be really interesting to say the least. So don't know exactly what's gonna happen, but yeah, I agree. It's gonna be. It will be interesting for that to unfold, as it were. So yeah, I agree. Excel Viking. I definitely agree with that. Let me see. There might be another way to get into X. One second. So I would imagine it would be like a massive turnout, but the idea of having, of course, like black was it dancers or whatever, or singers, and having like Samoans doing their whole shaka car, whatever you want to fucking call it. I mean, I don't know how that's going to help the British people, but it'll be interesting to say the least for tomorrow. At least from what I've heard, that's going to happen tomorrow at this event. Unfortunately, I can't come because obviously I don't really have a lot of money at the moment. I'm trying to save up for the conference that's coming up in October. For the conference for Patriotic Alternative, of course, that's going to be happening at the start of October. Let me see if I can get this up here. And also, while I'm at it, get my earphone in just in case. Right, so let's see if we can try this, since this might be able to work. Let's see if we can get this up here just now. Again, my apologies, folks. I really thought that it would actually log me into the actual stream, because normally it would allow me to just get into it. I don't know why it's not. And that's been deleted. Fuck me. Great. Well, I can't really showcase the videos in question, but yeah, but from what I have seen, yeah, they're just it really goes to show just how arrogant these people really are. Anyways, Tommy says he's got black and Sikh speakers. Yeah, I remember hearing something about that as well. So that's gonna be interesting, especially with the current climate just now. But yeah, what to do when it comes to that? So I guess the last thing I'll mention with regards to the whole Charlie Kirk situation is that, yeah, may he rest in peace. At this point, what the anti-whites are doing, I'll even say this, right? I do hope that they actually continue to be as arrogant as they are with the whole Charlie Kirk thing. And the reason for that is because, again, it just shows people just how arrogant they are, and it's only going to further radicalize people. Because, like we've said, like I said, it will definitely further radicalize people. These anti-whites have no idea like what exactly they've done, and the way that they've reacted to it. All they've done at this point is just open up Pandora's box, and the time for discourse and debate is dead. It's long gone. And I know there's people like Tim Pool and all of that are trying to uh, bring people back. Like, no, we need to be civilized at this point. We need to, we need to continue with the debate and all that. Mate, debate is done. They don't want to have a debate. They literally want to fucking kill you because of your differences in political beliefs. That ship has sailed again, probably a long time ago, but this was the anchor point in my opinion. This was the prime example that that's long gone. It's never coming back. So yeah, and I think it definitely has woken up a lot of people. Like I said, it's been talked about at my workplace. Everyone's talking about it. Everybody is definitely talking about this. So I think we should move on from. Well, yeah, not just the Charlie Kirk thing. I was going to mention the Irina, Ukrainian woman, again passed, was tragically murdered as well. That as it just seems it just keeps getting like escalating. It's getting worse and worse and worse. I think there was also like a shooting that happened in the Catholic Church as well. I think it was maybe the same week or maybe last week, if I'm not mistaken. The perpetrator, of course, being a trans person, who never saw that coming. So yeah, and apparently the perpetrator who killed Charlie Kirk was again like this absolute libtard type of thing. Nobody's safe. Yeah, nobody is safe, but that's the thing. We shouldn't let these absolute savages stop us from what we want to do. If anything, it should embolden us and showcase that no, we are the ones on the right side of history. We're the ones that are right and righteous and moral. Those people are just complete psychopaths. Complete psychopaths. It's getting bad for sure. Yeah, definitely. So essentially, the Republican Party got a boost of more supporters. I mean, I would imagine. So there were a couple of things I did notice that I thought were really shady about the whole thing. So there was a certain rabbi that was on the news a while back who did a lot of really questionable things. Let me see if I can actually get the image up here. And I believe no, that would be on my X actually. Sorry, not Telegram. I can't remember the guy's name, but you all know who I will be referring to once I showcase this. Rabbi Shmuley, I think it is. I mean, that's the guy there. I'm sure. I don't know if I've covered him on the show before, but I have heard about him, and it's like really depraved shit in the past. But what happened to Charlie Kirk, and then right afterwards, this guy basically opens a like a was it a GoFundMe essentially. So I'll read the post. So this is his original post that he put up. I believe it's been since deleted, or maybe it's still up, but he basically writes, I have spoken for my friend many times. This is referring to Charlie Kirk. I'm in shock and praying for his recovery. This was, of course, before the news that he died and all of that. So help protect Rabbi Shmuley. Help protect him, Rabbi Shmuley, and help him to and open up a GoFundMe. While this was going on with Charlie Kirk's assassination, these people have no fucking they have no bottom whatsoever. They have absolutely no bottom. This dude, I know there's the whole stereotype with like the Jews and money and all of that, but fuck me, that's just a kick in the balls, isn't it? I couldn't believe that. There was another one, but this is all to do with Ben Shapiro. Now, I don't know if this is confirmed or not, or if this is actually definite, but according to this tweet, and again, hold it with a pinch of salt, or don't look at as complete confirmation, but this is what the case is. So this tweet writes, Ben Shapiro has just taken over the Turning Point USA organization that Charlie Kirk started. And there you have it, the real motive behind Israel's assassination of Charlie Kirk. Again, I don't know if that's actually confirmed or not. If I should probably look that up actually, because if that actually is the case, then that's really shady, isn't it? Let's see, Turning Point USA, and then maybe Ben Shapiro, because if that actually is confirmed that and Ben Shapiro is the new leader, I don't want to come up now. I'm not want to come off as like a conspiracy theorist, but that again, if that doesn't radicalize people or makes people look at that and think, wait, hold on a minute, then I don't know what else will at this point. I mean, there's one website called the Daily Caller. I believe that's to do with Ben Shapiro's organization and whatnot. It writes, pick up that blood-stained microphone. Ben Shapiro vows to keep up public appearances in honor of Charlie Kirk. So I don't think that's the case. That he's actually technically now the leader, but there's another one that from what's the website? Michael R. Cronin, I think pronounce it. Charlie Kirk wastes no time jockeying for position following the tragic assassination of Charlie Kirk. That's the article right there, just in case. I don't know if you guys can see that with the writing. Yeah, there we go. Ben denies rumors that he canceled college campus tours, calling them false and bullshit. Brent Scher said the cancelled events were booked signings, cancelled out of respect for Kirk. Shapiro also vowed to pick up that bloodstained microphone where Charlie left off and continue carrying on Kirk's work. And it seems many are ready and willing to do so. So this article was actually written 5 hours ago, and yeah, that's... Anyways, Streaky Bacon, inshallah, Streaky Bacon, thank you very much for watching. Toffee writes, Shapiro was promised Turning Point 3000. God damn it. But yeah, if that doesn't make people think, then yeah, that's really that's really suspicious. Or knows, maybe I'm being a far right conspiracy theorist. I don't know. But anyways, so yeah, that was that. And also, it's good to see that the shooter has been caught, and apparently the family of the shooter of Tyler Robinson, the family actually turned their son in. I mean, that, it's bad when like your own family like turns you into the police, because you've done a horrific act when that happens to you, right? So, and yeah, Sandra Spicy Spanish Salami Sandwich writes, did anyone see the book published on Amazon the day before titled The Shooting of Charlie Kirk? I actually did notice that when I was at work. I was having my my tea break. I think it was the first tea break I had, and I was just flipping through my phone and see any updates and all of that. And sure enough, that was brought up. I believe it was Alex Jones that brought that up, because it was that, and he was also talking about two particular articles. I can't remember if they were from the Washington Post, sorry, and the New York Post, where they basically made the report, I believe, the day before the assassination occurred, which, I mean, that's really odd, isn't it? That's really suspicious. British to Streaky Bacon writes, BBC Breakfast News this morning, third item, they dragged up a non-story about Stephen Lawrence. The bastards, no mention of CK or Arena killing, though. Of course they wouldn't. No, of course they wouldn't. And this is also another thing I've noticed with these anti-whites when it comes to George Floyd. And this is a way of like mocking Charlie Kirk, where it's like, oh well, what was Charlie Kirk killed by fentanyl or something like that? Basically, again, making fun of the whole what a lot of the conservative types would say towards these anti-white types. Which again, I mean, that really goes to show like these types of people. In fact, you know what? I might as well just bring up the Sam Piker clip right now, but I'm just going to play it on my phone because there's no way I can actually show that on my computer here for whatever reason. Let me see if I can actually find it here. So the tweet writes, Hassan Abi or Hassan Piker reacts to Alex Jones breaking down in tears following Charlie Kirk's passing, with Hassan stating that Jones loves playing the victim, quote unquote. And the quote from Hassan Piker writes, conservatives are a victimhood. Now, keep this in mind. These are the same groups of people for years have always portrayed themselves as the victims, as the oppressed, and all of that. And then this shit happens, and all of a sudden, all the conservatives are a victimhood. You just can't win with these absolute people, right? Let me see if I can actually play the clip in its entirety, maybe in full volume. One sec. So, yeah.
I don't. These conservatives really think they're a targeted group. I mean, that's a big part of their worldview, right? Permanent perceived victimhood. That's it.
Death is we're gonna get him. We're the safest country in the world we are. Just like Charlie first. We love you, Charlie. God bless you.
Fascists love claiming to be permanently in a state of victimhood by simultaneously weak and also all-powerful individuals.
So there you have it. And this is coming from Hassan Piker, who I might have talked about on the show before, but he is the definition of a champagne socialist. He's someone who always talks about, oh, what man, we gotta eat the rich. It's like, motherfucker, you are the rich. He lives in a $2 or $3 million mansion in Los Angeles, and he wants to lecture people about how great communism is and how everyone has to, have the same equal value of currency, and of course, property shouldn't be a thing. He's an absolute fucking twat. I can't stand people like that. And for him to call us like the victimhood, when he and his cronies, his posse or whatever, love to play the victim and all of that, it's astonishing. It's absolutely astonishing with people like Hassan Piker. Dr. Ezekiel, how you doing? Thank you very much for watching the show. Remigrate Hassan Piker to Turkey. Based, yeah, I agree. Based Dr. Ezekiel. Yeah, I mean, I can't stand people like Hassan Piker like that. Like the fact that he has the audacity to say stuff like this. Well, if there's anything good to come out of all of this, because there's a lot of people like from that side that are now actually getting cancelled. One particular event that happened with DC Comics, I think, was it Mr. H Reviews that was talking about this, but basically there was this man pretending to be a woman, so basically a trans or whatever, was writing a comic book, Red Hood, that was published by DC Comics. Of course, this thing, I'll reference when it comes to that, decided to throw their hat in the ring and, of course, make mocking statements towards Charlie Kirk, going as far as saying, like, police are not human and all of that. Well, a lot of people, understandably so, were pissed off at this and decided to ask, or basically tell DC Comics that this person should be cancelled and whatnot because of the comments being said. And sure enough, that comic has been cancelled. So we're now definitely starting to see from that side, fuck around and find out, essentially. And there was actually some of these anti-whites and whatnot where they're now getting to see the idea that, oh, actually actions have consequences. The same thing that they've lectured us, like, oh, you can't say this, you can't do that, because actions have consequences. It's so funny now it's now been flipped back onto them. Actually, Count Dankula did a great tweet about this earlier. Was it earlier today or was it yesterday? I noticed that. If I might have actually been today, now that I think of it. Let me see if I can actually get up here, because Yeah, while this is all going down, a lot of these anti-white leftist types are just like, oh, but what about free speech? What about free speech? It's like, you lot don't give a damn about free speech. You only care about free speech when it's your speech. Let me see if I can find Dankula's. Oh, yeah, here it is. Right. Excuse me. So that's the tweet from Count Dankula himself. So he writes, the irony of people crying about losing their jobs over their speech because they said spiteful things about a man who lost his life over his speech is a pretty fucking funny turn of events. And of course, he writes a follow-up tweet to that. Again, he's quoting them saying, but what about free speech? So much for being the free speech guy. And he responds back with, fine, that's a tweet, just in case, for context. And he writes, following up with that, fine, I'll entertain that, but I have to ask this. If you are part of the all speech I don't like or disagrees with me is hate speech club, then explain why your free speech should be defended when you don't even believe in free speech yourself. Which, yeah, it's so funny that now it's being flipped onto them because they've been doing that to us for years. For years, we've been getting cancelled over the most minute things imaginable, whether it's jokes or if it's posting up facts on certain things. You know, people get cancelled for it. And it's really hilarious now it's being brought on to them at this point. It really is funny seeing, and of course, the reaction to them where they're just like, wait, you mean to tell me that actions have consequences? Yes. As you all said in the past, actions have consequences. Dr. Ezekiel writes again, I'm totally here for the consequence culture the leftoids are experiencing. Yeah, I agree. Let them get a taste of their own fucking medicine for once. Budgie Burger writes, crocodile tears and fake sincerity, the new normal. Budgie Burger also writes, exiled, he puts Keith Richards to shame. And that's another thing too, by the way, what I've also noticed, and this is something that happened with the attempted assassination of Donald Trump last year, just before the presidential election in 2024. There was a lot of people, a lot of the news pundits, politicians, and the like, celebrities and all of that, for prior to that, for a long time, had no problem calling people fascists, Nazis, white supremacists, neo-Nazis, whatever buzzword you can think of. And then and when something like this happens, all of a sudden their tune changes. Well, we all have to understand that we have to respect each other's opinions and these type of discourse. Go fuck yourself. You have no problem of calling people these types of words and expecting people to go out and do something about it. It's almost like it's done by design. And when something like this happens, of course, as we all know, Charlie Kirk has fucking died because of it. Now all those same people are just like, well, we have to understand and come to an agreement that the public discourse is vitally important. Fuck you. You had no problem calling them a Nazi or a fascist and the like. You had no problem doing that. But suddenly when something actually happens to someone, as what happened to Charlie Kirk, then their tails are tucked between their legs. If you're going to say stuff like that, what you've done prior to what happened to Charlie Kirk, at least have the fucking balls to actually stand by what you say. But that's another problem with these people. They never take any accountability for their own fucking actions. And it's disgraceful. It really is absolutely disgraceful. And like I mentioned before, what this whole shooting has done is only further radicalizing people. Some people who say don't look back in anger. Yeah, funny of that. In fact, there's actually something from Turning Point UK that wrote on X. Again, if I've seen it earlier, maybe it was yesterday. They literally wrote a tweet that read, look back in anger. People are really pissed off with what happened to Charlie Kirk, and it's only going to get worse from here, and it's only going to further radicalize people. In fact, I'll even go as far as to say it's opened up the question for the SIFNAT types, the moderate types, the people who are more in the middle between left and right. The question for those people is this. Well, actually, no, it's not really a question. It's more like it's more like a statement or a command, like pick a side. you're either on that side of the fence or you're on that side of the fence. You can't be in the middle at this point. Moderation or whatever it's called is gone. Public discourse, debate, that's dead too. And they killed that with Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk, who I don't agree with him on his Israel or pro-Zionist stance, but he didn't deserve that. He absolutely did not deserve that. And and to give the guy credit, I will give him this credit. At the very least, he actually will go out and talk to people and actually have their side of their political stances and whatnot. And they killed him for it. They killed him because he dared to have an open discourse with people. Like I said before, you can't reason the unreasonable. The time for public discourse and debate is dead. So. Dr. Ezekiel again. Chief, I have tagged you in a reply to a funny meltdown vid of a guy in stockings and high shorts climbing out because or jumping out because he was fired. You've probably seen it, but it will give a wee chuckle to the others. Whereabout is that, Dr. Ezekiel? Hold on. I'm going to see if I can actually get it up here just real quick. Oh, isn't that right? One sec. Oh, maybe right. One sec. Yeah, I might have.
Fired from my fucking job. I was just fired from my job. I was just fired from my job. I was just fired from my fucking job. Nothing but this. Nothing but this one thing. Nothing anymore. Nothing anymore. Nothing anymore. Oh my God.
Wow. Wow. Well, thank you very much for bringing that to my attention, Dr. Ezekiel. Wow. Yeah, that's. I mean, look, at the same time, these people, like, just the sheer arrogance of them. And now it's come to the point where it's like, you know what? No more. We're done with the bullshit. And you've been doing this to us for many years. Let's see how you like it. And it's now happened to them. They fucked around and they found out, and they're getting canceled for it. There was actually a similar event where it was like a vigil in like a college campus in America, in Idaho, I think it was. A lot of people went to this vigil to pay their respects to Charlie Kirk after what happened. And of course, you get the anti-white leftist types who are just like, like trying to like run over people with a scooter or whatever, saying, oh, like, fuck Charlie Kirk and blah, blah, blah. He got his arse booted because of that. People are just sick and tired of it. They're not taking the bullshit anymore. They're really, I'm sorry, excuse me. They really are saying no more. So it's going to be really interesting what's going to happen in the next coming days, weeks, months, maybe a year, in fact, because I think what happened to Charlie Kirk, it killed one thing, be it public discourse and debate and all of that. But I definitely do believe that it's opened up Pandora's box. I definitely do believe it's opened up something that if it comes towards these anti-whites or leftist types, they're going to be extremely apologetic when it happens to them. Guarantee it. Guarantee it when it comes to that. So Toffee writes in the chat, there's a clip going around of a big lefty streamer who started crying and basically disavowed the left completely. He finally saw the light. His chat started abusing him for it. Oh, no surprise there with that. So I wonder who that streamer would be, because again, yeah, these people are unhinged. You can't reason the unreasonable. at this point in time. So about an hour into the show, guys. If you don't mind, I think I might end the stream there. I was hoping that the stream itself might be somewhat better when it comes to logging into my X account and all of that, but unfortunately that was not the case. So and to be honest, that was pretty much that I was going to cover tonight anyway. So yeah, if you guys don't mind, I'm just going to end the stream here. Mark is going to be live at 7 p.m. tonight anyways on his Odyssey and his Rumble account, where he's also going to talk about the assassination of Charlie Kirk as well. That's Mark Collett. You can find him on Odyssey and also on Rumble at 7 p.m. So you got about 20 minutes when it comes to that in this case. So yeah, thank you very much for coming along. I should be back at some point. I'll keep you guys updated on X and Telegram and all of that when I'll be back on. But saying that, I think I'm going to come back more often. I think in this case, this definitely has encouraged me to stream a lot more. So, but I will promise for the next stream, it will be a lot better compared to tonight's stream. But again, technical issues and all of that, my apologies. But I hope you all have enjoyed the stream, and hopefully the next one will be a lot better. Yeah, so in that case, I'm just going to literally end the stream. So there's no outro music or anything like that at all. Exile Viking, any protests this weekend, Chief? I do know there's the Tommy Robinson protest in London, which will be tomorrow. I can't go there because of course I don't have enough money, and I'm trying to save up for the PA conference that's coming up at the start of October. But I think there's going to be a protest in Falkirk again this weekend on Sunday. I'm not too sure if that's the case, but if you follow the main organizers, I can't remember the name, but I'm sure there'll be something that they'll have an update for with that, because I think they're doing a protest on a Sunday for now, and then they'll go back to doing it again on Saturdays. But I might find like a post about that later on and see from there. But in terms of I can go to these protests at the moment, I don't think so. Again, because of prior commitments to work and all of that, but I'll try. I'll see if I can try my best to get to these protests again, but we'll see when it comes to that. I'd avoid London tomorrow. Big chance of false flag. I mean, like we've seen that happen before with these Tommy Robinson demos. I wouldn't be surprised if something's about to happen with that demo tomorrow, but I'll be watching it on a live stream. Don't know which stream, but I'll probably catch it then. Of course, we'll see from there. And of course, I'll see all the updates unfold at that point. But with that, thank you guys very, very much for watching. This is Chief Moody signing out. You have been watching the Mood of the Nation podcast, and I will see you all in the next episode. Take care, stay safe, and enjoy the rest of your Friday evening. Enjoy the weekend when it comes. And yeah, thank you all once again. Have a good night. Thank you all, and good night. Take care.